Off there, Christine. Thank you, dear. Appreciate you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, appreciate you very much, too. Welcome back to the show. As always, this show is sponsored by Hexa Coffee. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you like whiskey?
I sure do.
Do you like coffee?
I sure do.
Well, check this shit out. Hexa Coffee makes a coffee aged in whiskey barrels. And you can order them online at hexacoffee.com. That's H-E-X-E coffee.com. And if you do, use the promo code ELK, E-L-K, and get 10% off of your order. It's delicious. You're going to love it.
Follow along on Instagram at Hexa Coffee so you can stay tuned for announcements on new products, new merchandise, and just if you're in Chicago, updates to the menu, like those excellent pastries, all the good food they have, plus upcoming events.
So today on the show, we have Diezavel Mandl, a good friend of ours. She has a podcast of her own called Feelings that you can check on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere where you get the podcasts. And this was a lot of fun. We get into some good shit, including her teaching Jessica Alba how to TikTok.
No big deal.
Enjoy the show.
I love having 2 drinks, you know that? I actually prefer 3, but this works.
I'm a multi-drink
Kind of girl?
kind of girl.
Same.
Like at restaurants, I'm like, give me a coffee, a water, and an orange juice, and a Bloody Mary, please.
Yeah, I'm the same. Even when I'm like editing, like I just like, I don't know why. I like having a matcha, I like having a water, then like a fun drink, but a little bit of a fun
Need
drink.
a little sip of something, a little
What's the
sip
fun
of
drink?
lots of somethings.
Yeah. Fun drink, like kombucha or like something that's not water. So like any other
Little
drink.
flavor,
Yeah.
any drink.
Extra.
Any drink.
Something extra.
Yeah.
Any drink.
Or sometimes I have like a juice, like from like Whole Foods. Have you tried the juices from Whole Foods? Doctor's Order?
I don't
have
know
not.
specifically if I've tried these juices, but
I'm a Trader Joe's like enthusiast. I don't go to Whole Foods.
I go to Whole Foods just for the juices. Like, because they have a juice bar.
It's good to know. There's one like just down the street, so I'll definitely pop in. I'll go for a long walk someday and then stop for a juice.
Yeah.
That'll
And
be good.
try the Doctor's Order. That one is
Doctor's Order.
so good. It makes my body feel good.
Oh, good. All right. I like that. What color is it?
Oh my gosh.
Is it a green juice or what color?
green? Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so good. It makes my body feel good, and yeah.
Nice.
yeah, I love fresh juice, like real juice, you know, like
freshly squeezed orange
yeah,
juice.
freshly squeezed orange
This
juice, for
is-
example.
Freshly squeezed watermelon juice.
Cheers, fam.
It's pink for our guest tonight.
Oh, I have to try it after. There's so many cameras. I love it.
yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Des.
Welcome,
Thank you for being
Des.
here. So how have you been enjoying your own podcast? We
It's-
started our podcast like same
Like-
week almost, right?
Neck
Yeah.
and neck.
Yeah, I think mine was a week after yours. Because mine comes out on Sunday. Your guys is Monday. Mm-hmm. Fan, biggest fan. And I actually was gonna post mine the Sunday before you guys, but I think I got scared. So then I was like, oh, wait till next week. Then you guys posted yours. I'm like, oh fuck, now I really have to post it next week because I want to like be like the same birth
Yeah.
as you guys, you know, so then we could grow together. You
That
know.
is cool.
Got you. So you're almost were a day before, but you waited, and then you were actually 6 days after.
Yeah.
I see.
It's like
And your show is Feelings. Feelings, feeling.
yes.
There you go.
And which I love. I love the name.
Thanks.
I love the show
It's so
too.
funny you talking to me
great.
like this.
I
You're
know.
so official. I'm like,
The
His interview voice
Yeah.
is coming
yeah,
out.
I'm sorry.
No.
But
No,
what
we're
was I
excited.
thinking?
It's
Like
all good.
I mean, how have you been liking doing the show? Your show is a little more focused on like a theme.
yes.
It still is that way, right?
Yes. How do I say? So for anyone listening, my podcast is called Feelings. And I basically talk about like self-development, self-love, trauma, feeling all the feelings basically.
Leaning in. Leaning in.
Yes, very leaning in. And I love my podcast.
Yeah.
It's hard though. You guys are so good with consistency. I'm so bad.
What do you mean? Like you've skipped
Talking about this
episodes?
guy.
Yeah. Just because I just really have a busy life. Like, I'm not going to lie about that. Like, it's like, And I get overwhelmed really easily. So I'm still learning. It's so funny. I'm like, yeah, I get overwhelmed easily. Starts vlogging.
right.
It's like, but I mean, it's all a learning process for me. So, okay. With feelings, at first I was very like, I want a topic. I want to talk about just this. I want to, make sure the listeners learn something. And I still want the listeners to learn something, but I've been more loose. Like if I don't have a topic I want to talk about, we'll just start talking. The last one I put 2 episodes ago, it was me and Zach, my last guest. And we just went in and it was like probably one of my top favorite episodes.
Cool.
Because it was more just like, what do you want to talk about?
Right.
But we still brought it to somewhere where the listener still learned something.
Yeah, of course, right. And like a theme naturally comes out of it.
Yeah.
Like, did you title it with any sort of theme that you ended up talking about?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm trying to get better at titles and thumbnails for YouTube.
I like your titles. I feel like they're descriptive. They let you know like what the main kind of overarching theme is throughout the episode. And
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So that one, like literally at one point I was just talking about how an intuitive healer once told me I was going to be on the cover of Women's Health. So I titled it, I'm going to be on the cover of Women's Health, allegedly. So it's like, that's like a good pull them in. And yeah, I don't know if it works because I don't know. I don't really look at numbers right now just because I'm just like, I just want to have fun.
Both of our shows are so young anyway. It's like,
just got
the numbers don't matter that much right now
Exactly.
anyway. It's just about like doing creating, getting better, like creating the sort of foundation for whatever it's going to grow into. Is at least how I view this. Like I always say, it's like at 100 episodes, we'll sort of
figure it out,
take a look at things, but like we got to just burn through 100, like just to kind of get the hang of it.
I can't take a lot of credit. I mainly just have to show up, and I mean, I chime in like editing sometimes, but
Well, you've been booking a lot of them too.
Well, yes,
It's been a very good half and half, and I was actually worried when we started that this would be like
a problem.
all my friends or something, but it's been pretty much half and half, and that's been a really fun thing. But anyway, I interrupted. I'm sorry.
Well, gosh, yeah, it's dangerous if you interrupt. I likely forget what I was going to say,
Same.
But I was just going to give you a compliment and say that you've done a really good job for sure, like being consistent about it. But, it doesn't have to be clean and tidy. Like messy. The messy's okay too, especially when, you're a busy working woman with a lot going on.
Yes.
Right.
No big deal. Like you have a lot in the pipeline.
Yeah. I also thought about doing maybe like seasons. Like some podcasts, they do seasons where they do 10 episodes, take like, I don't know, like 3 weeks off to film those episodes and then do it again. Not so much exactly those numbers, but something like that.
It's a cool idea.
So Yes Theory does that with their podcast. They have like a certain amount of episodes, take a break for a few months and then post them again.
That seems like a little good way to fight burnout to an extent.
Yeah. I would just rather post consistently though, just like once a week. I just need time. I need more time.
Are you still editing
You could stop
them
sleeping?
down?
No, I'm kidding.
You can stop sleeping.
If I could, I love sleep though.
I do too.
I love sleep. But if I could like turn it off for some nights in a row and just get it done, I would. But then I would need to sleep days.
Yeah, it sucks we have to sleep every night. It'd
Right?
be cool if it was just like every other night you had to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could get so much more done.
Yeah. It sucks.
You usually sleep every other night.
No,
No,
that's
I'm
not
just
true.
kidding. But
Yeah.
man.
Christine keeps me healthy though. She's like, here you go again. Like you better
There
catch up
you
on
go
some sleep. Yeah.
Like, yeah. You
shakes her
don't
finger.
stay up that late so often, but I would say like easily till 4 in the morning.
Sometimes.
Often.
Are you still editing them down? Like
Like you don't edit yours.
I don't. I mean,
Barely.
very little.
Unless like there's a comment that somebody asks to come out.
Right.
And then it's mainly just editing.
Yeah, maybe I'll pull something
ads
out. But our ad is at the front, so there's not even like an ad break in the middle. Yeah, I mean, I really, I change camera angles,
But that's it.
So this just
you
requires
basically
me
to watch it.
I just watch it, and I watch it double speed for the most part.
I hate editing double speed.
Oh,
I fucking
almost
hate
only
it.
edit double speed.
I just like I hate that. Ugh. I just don't like feeling like I'm speeding. Like, I don't know. I'm a chill,
It's funny when you watch something double speed and then you watch it normal speed and it's like so
So
slow and boring. You're like, who's going to even
Like,
enjoy
come
this? People are
on.
going to fall asleep, but you're
Yeah.
just used to the fast. But yeah, I put in a multicam sequence, double speed it, and just click between the 3 cameras.
Yeah.
And every now and then, like, ooh, I accidentally cut
Go
to
back.
this. I should have cut to this. So I go back, I fix it.
Interesting.
But so that's how it is. And, like that way, like purposely I do that so that it's
Easy.
sustainable and easy. Like we've had things where it's like, oh, we're going to make a song later. Like we should edit that into the thing or we did this like
no.
that. Or like we should pull up a picture of that when we talked about it. And it's like, I'm not doing that because
That's
then
a YouTube
then I got to do
video.
it every time. Yeah. And like, it's just, it'll be ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
and
kinda
they're
trim
long
out
enough
the-
too. Our episodes are long enough too, for the most part. They're
Sure.
like that's I feel like your videos, you do a good job, like kind of tightening them up
Yes.
in a way to like.
Yeah, I try not to go over
You're
30.
like for the working woman or whoever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people on the
working
move.
woman.
It's like,
Yeah, because when I
Short
think
and
of,
sweet.
I listen to podcasts in my car on the way to work. Usually your work is not further than like 30, 40 minutes. So that's why I keep mine short. Because it's like if I would listen to it, like that's when I would listen
that's
to
good.
it. You know?
I think that's a good way to look at it.
But you know what's interesting though? You know how you guys post on YouTube? Like at the beginning, very exclusively first, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people watch podcasts on YouTube. Zach watches podcasts on YouTube.
Nice. I do too. That's
That's
why it was like
crazy.
I associate it as a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Because I mostly watch podcasts on YouTube. Now it's more in my car and I do Spotify.
Yeah, but for me, I'm a very car person. I talk on the phone in the car. Like I could take more in brain-wise in the car, which is
Interesting.
probably not safe.
No, I think it makes sense actually.
But it's just, I'm just so used to that routine
Sure.
of like driving and taking information in.
And it's a moment where there's not a lot you can be doing.
That's true.
You know, it's not like, I could talk on the phone, but like, but I want to do this or I'm going to watch something or I'm going to
Like
take a
scrolling
shower
or
or I'm going to,
something.
scroll on my phone. Like
Yeah.
you're driving the car. So like your options are limited. So it's kind of a good time to do those things.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, because I guess I listen to the only time I listen to podcasts in my house is like when I'm doing my hair because my hair takes so fucking long to do. So
What are you gonna
like,
do? To dye it or just like,
no, like my hair doesn't
What do
look
you
this
have to
good
do?
all the
You have to
time.
proof it?
I have to, my hair, you've seen my hair.
but I
Like,
feel like it's naturally big and wavy.
but it's not like, this is organized, wavy. My natural hair is just like all over the place.
Okay.
That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, that's when I listen. Like I was listening to Jay Shetty's podcast this morning when I was doing my hair, and then I transferred it to my car when I went. Oh my god, it was such a good episode because Oprah was on it, and I love Oprah.
Who's Jay Shetty?
Jay Shetty is kind of like my icon. So he has a podcast, and he's very much about self development, like very much what I want to do. He's like Oprah,
Okay.
like the new Oprah to me.
I mean,
you know?
to get Oprah on your show, he must be
yeah.
a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
making
yeah.
some noise.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't heard of him.
He's,
but
he's,
shit.
he's the number one health podcast in America, or maybe just overall. Something. He's number one. Something.
Number
Cool.
one.
Yeah.
He's number one
He's
in our
number
hearts,
one.
in your podcast and in your heart.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Jay Shetty.
He's a listener.
Check him
He's a listener.
Yeah. He slid into our DMs and I ignored him because I didn't know who he was.
it's all a bit awkward now.
I was like, wait, what? One of my goals is to be in a Jay Shetty either episode or him being on my podcast, which I'm open.
Yeah.
Either way.
Either way, it's cool.
Yeah, either way. It's
Did
cool.
you do your episode with JC, right?
No, we didn't.
You didn't do it.
He what's the word when they don't show up?
bailed?
Bailed. He bailed.
He bailed?
That bitch. He's a bailing bitch.
He's a bailing
No.
ass bitch.
He was. It's fine because I said it was fine, but you guys were making music, so it's your fault.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I'm
Plot
just kidding.
thickens,
Okay.
the plot.
No. It's fine. Like
Gotcha.
you could do
but
whatever.
it has not
He
yet
did say he
happened.
would be back in like a week.
Did he leave?
He left.
gone.
But he'll be back in a
He
week.
told me. He literally told me he's like, let's do it like it doesn't matter. Anyways, we'll do it. I'm gonna do it.
Do you have a favorite episode that you've done thus far, or is it too early to tell?
Oh, they're all so good. Like I love my guest episodes, even though like the ones I do by myself are good too. Like a lot of people like my solo ones, but I think my favorite so far is probably the last Zach episode, just because that was the second time him being on my podcast. So like we got same with like all my friends have to be on multiple times because I think the first round is just getting, opening the door.
For sure.
It's like a little icebreaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Because, like, for example, me and Jesse, like, our episode was so good, but, like, we have so much spiritually and self-development to talk about that we kind of just, like, blurted out our beginning journey. And then we were saying, like, okay, next time, let's talk about, like, this section. We need to break it up because there's so much we could talk about. So I think that's why Zach's episode was really good, this last one, because we could chill. It wasn't like, we have to talk about this, and
Right,
this, you know.
right.
Peter's episode was good too because he opened up. Thanks, Peter.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dude, Peter's the best.
Right? He's the sweetest
He's the
person.
I was
Sweet.
like smitten by how excited he seemed to meet, meeting me. I couldn't believe it.
I told him about you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sure he's heard
felt
about you,
so
seen you and
good.
stuff. but yeah.
What did he say? Was he like, you're Christine?
It was just like how he said it. Yeah. He was like, I don't know. He just kind of like
Yeah.
lit up. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I told him about you.
I know. I like kind of feel like I know them. They're just like, but just because I see them so much, through your content. Like, what good friends too to shower you with puppies the other day.
Oh my God, Peter. Yeah, Peter. Okay. I mean, I was going to say Peter spoils me the most, but you spoil me a lot too.
Oh.
Yeah, my friends, I'm just so fucking lucky to have like friends that spoil me. Like, it's so crazy and I'm so grateful for it. And it's like, I don't ask for it,
No,
I'm just like, you guys just know what I like and you guys make me feel so special. But I think I don't know. It's great. It's great. But
Good.
yeah, Peter surprised me with
Back
puppies.
to the puppies.
So
Now
yeah,
back
for
to the
people
puppies.
listening, it was your birthday.
Yes, last
And you
Wednesday.
you walked into work or something?
Yeah, so it was my day off. I'm not working on my birthday, and then Peter texted me the day before, which I thought was weird because I'm like, if it's my birthday, wouldn't you like ask a few days before, like, hey, make sure you are at my house? But he did it so good. He knew I had nothing planned. So he texted me. He's like, hey, like, can you make time for me to hang out with you on your birthday? Of course, I'm like, hell yeah, even though I was gonna see him that night. He's like, I just want like some time with you. I'm like, okay, like. Okay. And then, he was like, be at my house 1 sharp. And I'm like, okay. So I was at the beach and then I drove to his house and then I walk in and they sing me happy birthday, like the whole team. There's like, they have balloons and donuts. And I was just like, oh, this is nice. Everyone's here because everyone was working. So I was like, oh, maybe this is, and then maybe we're going to go get lunch or something. And then like, I'm standing there and I'm so awkward because like Patrick's just like filming me. And I'm just like, the happy birthday part was done. And then Peter's like, oh, so cute. Peter's so cute. He's just like, well, that's not the end of the surprises. And I'm like, oh my God, I knew it. And then he took me outside and there was like puppies. Oh, so cute.
Like,
Damn.
And he's
so many puppies.
Yeah, a
So
lot
many.
of puppies.
And like
Yeah.
little, really young, tiny, floppy,
Yeah.
foldy puppies. Like, they're so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those puppies
What a
were
gift.
from Paul Works. So Paul Works is a puppy shelter, or I guess animal shelter. And those puppies, they were up for like adoption and fostering. So they actually have a lot of puppies and kittens that need to be fostered and adopted. But it's cool because they bring those, like, whatever puppies need to be played with or want to be played with, they bring them to whoever asks. Like, they did it for Yes Theory. I think that's how Peter found it.
Cool.
And they said they've done it for like Hype House and all this stuff, which is their way of promoting.
yeah.
Yeah. So now people know about them.
Sure.
I was like, that's smart.
It
Very
is
smart.
smart.
It's very smart because all the influencers are going to be like, oh my God, puppies,
Right. Who doesn't
So-
want to play with puppies?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and for a good cause.
yeah. So it was super great, and the puppies are so cute.
Well, and everybody in the rescue community is like so close to like tight knit too. So if you're like an animal lover and you support rescue, you're gonna have just like troves of
Yes.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people listening, the Patrick and the Peter that you're referring to, you work for Patrick Starrr, the makeup
The makeup
influencer.
extraordinaire.
Makeup extraordinaire. And Peter
One
is
and only.
his younger brother,
Yes.
who's like, I don't know. I mean, how do you describe Peter other than just like the sweetest boy
Yeah.
that there is?
The sweetest. Yeah, I mean that's it.
So that's
He's literally
that.
the sweet. Like, if you think whatever you think is sweet, think like 10 times more sweeter.
Right.
Like, he is the nicest person.
He's impossibly sweet.
Yeah, he surprises me so much. For Christmas, remember a few years ago, he surprised me with fucking Jonas Brother tickets.
I was gonna ask
and he
about that,
filmed
yeah.
that, and it was that was amazing. And then when we went to the fucking Jonas Brother concert, Like if we get there, in my mind, I'm like nosebleed seats, and I'm happy. You know, I'm like,
Right.
I don't care where we sit. And like he's like, oh, let's just like see what's over there. And I'm like, okay, I'm always down for breaking the rules adventure. And like we go to the front, and like we're standing there, and they let us in. I'm like, are these our seats? Like it's just like the GA, literally like me, Jonas Brothers, you know? And like it was like there, and it was so fun.
Amazing.
He's all nonchalant. Like, oh, I'm sure we could just
he
inch
plays
a
it
little
so
closer.
good.
He's
Yeah.
very good at secrets. Out of all of us, he's the best at secrets, I think.
Wow.
Because
That's a true talent.
Yeah, I'm the worst at secrets.
I know. Secrets are, I'm no good.
Yeah.
So did you get in with them through Fabian or
The team? Or
Yeah.
like being friends with them?
like even knowing them?
Yeah. Yeah. So Fabian's my best friend from Orlando. We're just best friends. And, I was about to go down the Gaga route. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's too long.
We're best friends.
Yeah, we're best friends. Let's make it short. And he started working for Patrick, or like did one job with Patrick, and then he came to visit me. Patrick lived here, and he's like, oh, do you want to go to dinner with us and go out to WeHo? And I'm like, of course, you know, because I wanted to hang out with him. Like I didn't know anything really, like who. I knew Patrick's videos, but I didn't. Not that I didn't care. I just, I was like, oh, it's cool, you know. And then, then we started hanging out. Then Patrick invited, like, I went to lunch with Patrick and Peter by myself. Like, Fabian went home. And then they were like, oh, do you want to go to Boiling Crab? I'm like, yeah. And then that was the first time I met Peter. And then Patrick invited me to his 1 million party, like 1 million subscribers. And then we kind of just became friends. And then another time at Boiling Crab, he was like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a casting video editor. That's when I was in casting. And, I do this, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, I actually need an editor. And literally that day, after eating, we went straight home, and he was like, can you edit this video for me? And he sat down, and we just did it. And then that was like 5 years ago.
Wow.
And now I'm here, still doing it.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. And we just today we reviewed a video with him doing Tyra Banks' makeup. So I edited that. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, because
That's amazing.
so through this, you've gotten to work with like Jessica Alba.
Oh, yeah.
Or like drop some names here.
It's so weird because
Naomi Campbell, right?
Yeah, I edited that one.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and-
did it. Yeah.
Are you trying to say like things I've edited or people I've met?
Well, let's
'Cause,
go with people
it's
you've
different.
met. Okay, so you didn't meet Naomi Campbell.
I didn't meet Naomi
but
Campbell.
You edited it.
I
Gotcha.
edited it. Yeah, like there's so many that I've edited, like Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian. I said Kim, like Kim.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, Kris Jenner. Met Jessica Alba was probably the AA lister. She was super nice. I taught her a TikTok dance, and then I literally was like, do you guys remember when I taught Jessica Alba to dance? Because, she's honey.
Oh, right.
She's a dancer.
Right.
And
remember that.
Jessica Alba was laughing.
What, you taught her a TikTok dance?
Yeah. But it's just funny because I taught Jessica Alba how to dance.
Yeah, that's funny. When you say that,
a
I just
feel-good
picture
moment.
Missy Elliott saying, I want honey. Because that was in the preview. I never saw the movie. But she's like, I want honey.
You're right.
I just remember that.
I don't remember that, but I do remember the movie.
Yeah.
She's got good
sickening.
moves.
Yeah.
Jessica
But yeah, that
Alba,
doesn't necessarily translate to TikTok. So way to
yeah.
show her the ropes.
Yeah. She's a good TikToker, though. I'm trying
Well, she had a good teacher.
some blushing. I'm trying to think who else I've met.
But so Patrick does, like, what his channel is, he does people's makeup.
yes.
Right. And so like it would be like Jessica Alba's on. So Patrick is doing Jessica Alba's makeup and they talk and this is how you do makeup.
This is how you do makeup.
This is the universal symbol for makeup.
yeah.
And they
Probably
just
is.
talk and like Patrick is super funny. Obviously, a lot of entertainers are funny as well. So it just kind of
And
hilarity
it's, you know what's
ensues.
interesting? I've noticed this with all of them, but with Tyra Banks, I resaw how much celebrities love Patrick. I mean, with good reason. I love Patrick too. He's literally so great. But it's so like interesting to see like Tyra Banks like fangirl, Jessica Alba fangirl. They reach out to him. Isn't that crazy? It's not like we reach out like, hey, you want to be on? Like they are like, hey, can we hang out? Can we be on the channel? Like it's crazy.
That's amazing. So when did Patrick get to that level? Like how did Patrick get to that level?
Just making videos.
Just making videos, being consistent.
Yeah.
Being
awesome.
And being awesome. I mean, yeah, right. It's not just he's consistent, he's very good.
He's very good.
So when did he get to that level?
Like being good or
Being like sort of the celebrity's favorite YouTube makeup person.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
When you
I
met
think
him,
it
when you
just-
started working for him, he was already at like
I think
that big of a level.
he was getting there. So the first video I edited was his video with, I forgot the girl's name, but she's from Dancing with the Moms.
Dance Moms?
Dance Moms. Yeah, I don't watch a show.
No.
No. But that was the first video I edited. And before that, maybe there was like 2 or 3 like famous people. But then after that, it like grew.
It snowballed.
Yeah. So I hopped on right onto
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no, he
it's
asked
just
me, you know,
what an
because that's when he
adventure.
needed help. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
And now he's been doing a podcast as well, right?
Yeah.
So how many episodes in is that?
That I produce.
Right. You produced this podcast.
Yes. I'm very proud.
Good.
I'm very proud of it. Like, just because it was like, I'm kind of the one who pitched it. I'm kind of the one who pushed it. And I was like, I want this to be my project. And like, it's so crazy because quarantine like stopped it, you know, and I was so upset
I
because
remember.
Oh yeah, me and Paul used to live together, by the way, for like years. And yeah,
For like our 20s.
yeah, literally our whole 20s. So yeah, and it's exciting that it's like happening, even though like on Patrick's we're not consistent either because he's so busy, you know. So it is hard, but I think we're at like 12 episodes or something like that. It's still
Cool.
baby, you know, it's still new.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But it's so good. I love it.
Like, are there dream collabs still that for Patrick's YouTube videos, or can that
He
not
actually
be discussed?
No. Today he actually told me. He was like, you know, we're editing and like fangirling like over the video because it's just so good. And he was just like, all I need to do is like Lady Gaga. I forgot the other people he said, but that's, I mean, to me, because Lady Gaga's my favorite.
Gaga would
and
be
all I
huge.
heard, I'm like, Gaga? Like that's a possibility?
Right.
You know, like what? I usually am not there on shoot days, but I will fucking be there bright and early, first one sitting there. I'll sit in a corner quietly.
Yeah, like, I'll be there a day early.
Yeah. And I'll sleep there and be ready. He knows though. Yeah, that's one he said today. I can't remember the other, but he said Lady Gaga. Then I blacked out.
It's a weird thing
Be
that like
awesome. It'll happen, I'm sure.
we've gotten to this point where we have like little access to these people. You know, like you're just like
It's so
a little
weird.
thing away. You're like
Yeah.
a DM away from you hanging out with Lady Gaga while Patrick does her makeup. You
No,
know,
and
like
that's
how
like,
crazy.
yeah, no, it is crazy. It's weird though. It's okay. Gaga, that's a different story for me because that's like my number one.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy to me. But it's interesting because I don't know if it's sad, not sad, but you know, when you like say like the first time you try a cherry, it's so good. You want more. But then like whenever you keep eating it, you know, it's kind of like, oh, it's just a cherry. That's what I feel like with celebrities now. Celebrities are like, oh, it's cool.
Sure.
I don't care that much anymore, you know,
Right.
unless it's Lady Gaga.
But like, yeah, I agree with that. And still, there are some people who like. I mean,
How's that cherry?
It's good. I ate the baby butt.
there are some people I meet where I'm like, ooh, like I was weird. Like when I met Tony Hawk, like I was weird. I was just
You
like,
liked it or you didn't like it?
I liked it, but I was just like, hey Tony, you know, like I wasn't like
I
wasn't
double
like,
said his name. I was like, oh, hi, Tony Hawk.
yeah. Like I wasn't like, hey, what's up, man? How you going? Like, cool to meet you. That's usually what I say.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, what's up, man? Cool to meet you.
But you got scared.
But I was like, hey, or like, you know, you kind of have like 5 minutes to say something. Otherwise, like you're silent for this whole day while everyone's shooting. You know?
I know exactly what
And
you
so
mean.
I was like, just trying to
That's
get
so
in there.
funny.
I was like actively like, I need to say something.
But
And
then
like,
you don't want to be like overbearing because then you look like a fan.
Sure.
And it's work. You know?
Sure.
Because I feel like I did that.
yeah, once you're in your head thinking about these sort of things, you already lost. You know?
Yeah.
I agree.
But do you like 10 years ago? Like
How old
if,
were we? 21. Yeah.
So if
Oh,
21-year-old
what an age.
Des,
We were finally there. We're like,
Yeah.
we can go to bars.
yeah. If 21-year-old Des saw your life, she'd be like, what?
Oh, I'm living my 21-year-old dream right now.
But do you feel as a 31-year-old like,
oh my
I haven't done shit. I got to work harder. Like
I was just thinking
it's
about
like,
this.
That's a great question.
and I feel like I'm always there. It's like, yeah, if I had what I have now 10 years ago, I'd have been excited.
Yeah.
But I feel the same way that I felt 10 years ago.
Yeah.
As far as how do you feel with
I
that?
literally was just thinking about this yesterday because yesterday I had a mental breakdown. But you know, those come on.
Cheers,
Cheers to
mental
mental breakdowns. Oh, you don't have nothing?
I don't got much either. You want a beer? I have another beer here.
I'll take a beer, sure. Beer sounds
Beard
great.
up.
Sure, thanks.
Sorry,
appreciate
the mental breakdown.
It's okay. Yeah, no, so yeah, in the midst of my mental breakdown, like I literally so whenever I have a mental breakdown and I just feel very overwhelmed and just like, I like have to like write. And I usually I'm a journaler, but like when it's in that like midst of a mental breakdown, I have to type. I'm just like, I have to get it out, you know?
Because it's like faster.
Yeah, like my fingers can keep up with my brain. And I literally had to remind myself, like, Des, this is where you fucking like always wanted to be. Like, why are you taking it for granted? Because the reason why I'm overwhelmed, because I'm like, oh, I wish I could just work on my stuff. You know, don't get me wrong, I love working for Patrick, but it's been 5 years. I want to work on my stuff, you know, and I am now. So I was like, I wish I could just focus on that. And I'm overwhelmed because I'm working, doing my own podcast, and then also trying to vlog now. So, you know, it's a lot. So I literally had to remind myself, like, I'm just like, be grateful for this feeling, you know, be grateful that you are doing everything. This is your dream, you know, like you're succeeding. And you just have to like be grateful and go through it. You know, it's going to be rough sometimes, but you know, life. Cries.
Do you feel that transition somewhere is around the corner where you're quitting your day job, which is amazing?
Yeah.
And you're full-time desing?
I would love to. So, okay, my thing right now, oh my God. Sorry, Patrick, if you're watching. But yeah, I mean, this wasn't my goal. My goal is to be my own successful creative content creator, you know?
Right.
So I literally, the reason why I got my camera and I started vlogging, because I'm like, okay, Des, I'm like, we're going to go hard for 6 fucking months, which is December. That's not even that far, you know, but you know, December, January, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. But like, I want to go hard on myself, but also with work for like a couple of months and just like fucking do it. Cause I've never done that. I've been like, oh, I'll do it when I feel like doing it. So now I'm like, no, like it's now or never, you know, not saying you can't do it like when I'm older, but I just feel now's the time for me to focus on myself. Cause I think I got a hang of, you know, editing and like producing and stuff like that, and I could like throw in my stuff now. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just all like a process of like, okay, I mastered this, let me add this in. Mastered that, let me add this in. You know,
Definitely.
Very that. What about you guys?
Well, I was just thinking that's such a loaded question because I know like that's like I feel like a Paul idea.
The reason I'm asking is because I'm going through that.
That is exactly like he's going through that.
I mean, same. So I understand. I literally was thinking, like crying and thinking about this yesterday. It's just weird how, you know, whenever you get to your 21-year-old dream, for some reason you're ungrateful, but it's because your dream's leveled up, you know?
Right.
So it's just
I don't think maybe ungrateful is the wrong word though.
Yeah. I mean, I felt very like, I hate my life. You know, it's like, I didn't want to be here yesterday, you know, in life. But, you know, I just reminding myself, you know, it's like, it's okay. You wanted this. This is why we're here. You create the world that you want, you know? So it's like, I created this. Now it's time for me to level up my creation in my mind so then I have the life I want. Manifest.
It's an ongoing thing for sure. I know it's like you never really arrive there. My friend always tells me that because I'm always trying to like get to a finish line, and she's like, that's not the way it works. Because like you said, like as soon as you get to one finish line, you know, there's a part of you that's already moved on to something else.
Yeah.
And
doesn't that suck?
100%.
It
sucks,
it
but
doesn't suck.
unless you once you've
it keeps you going.
grappled with it,
good.
it doesn't suck. Yeah, like once you can eat a cherry on air.
No, I didn't want to, but I was looking because I'm like, I'm putting it back. I'll remember.
But yeah, like I don't think it sucks, but it is a hard thing to sort of grasp. It's almost like a paradox where you're like, I'm going to pursue this goal. I know that goal is not going to fulfill me, and once I achieve it, I know I'll feel the same as I feel today once I get there, but if I'm ever going to get there, I need to pursue it as if it's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. But once I get there, like I need to be okay with the fact that I still feel the same. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, so it's just it's a mess. It's a paradox, you know, and you just have to come to grips with it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm learning literally this week. And I guess I have been learning where it's just like, you know, be grateful for what's in front of you. Like that's literally, you can't control nothing. So just whatever you have right now is just like, that's it, you know, and then it'll keep growing or, you know, decreasing, you know, but yeah.
To me, it's not like the grass is always greener kind of ungrateful, though. It's sort of just, it's not like, I don't know. I think the restlessness that I think that's just like an inherently kind of human flaw. And I think you can kind of like curb it with emotional awareness and like intelligence, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it ever goes away.
In Buddhism, they say the human condition is craving.
Yeah.
You crave.
Yeah.
So no matter what you have, it's like craving is not about needing the thing you're craving. You just crave. So
Yeah.
you get that thing,
You
still
something
crave.
else. Yeah.
So you want more. And so the human condition is to crave, you know? And it's so, and like, you can sort of just sit there and be like, I'm going to overcome the craving. I'm just going to sit in this like shitty apartment, not pursue goals, not try to grow because like that is just the human condition to crave. I want to overcome it. Or you can just embrace that. I'm a human. We crave. That's what we do. So I'm going to plow forward at these things and just like, you know, forgive myself if where I come up short and whatever doesn't, and, you know, recognize that achieving those cravings is not going to fulfill me and just ride the crave wave, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just all about,
Wave.
yeah, it's all about being accepting of the crave wave. You're always going to want more. That's it. You
That's
know? And that sucks. It sucks because I have like such big dreams and I'm like, so once I get there, I'm going to want more, which I mean, it's a good thing, but it's just like, I just want to be happy.
I mean, yeah, that's the ultimate health and happiness. It's like the foundation almost as essential as like food and water. Like, I mean, what good is the rest of it if you're
Unhappy.
truly unhappy in
I
it?
guess the real ticket would be like being happy while craving, you know, like
Yeah.
separate the two. Like I crave, I'm stoked with right now. I'm so happy. I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful. And also I crave.
Well, and I think there's like with everything else, a balance. You can want something without letting it consume
For
your,
sure.
you know, sense of self-worth or like perspective on things. Like you
Yeah.
can still have a kind of a spectrum of, you know, how much that desire to get a promotion or whatever it is, like how much that weighs on you is still kind of up to you to decide.
I agree. Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to, because I was thinking, I'm like, but it's so interesting because I go through waves of, and how do I say this? You know, I have my big dreams, right? But honestly, like I want them. I think because we're talking about it, I want it. But when I'm alone at my house and I'm like wanting these things, like I've trained myself since quarantine, like and since I started my healing journey to like, honestly, I don't care how famous I am. I don't care, like, obviously, I just care that I have, like, enough money to pay my shit, you know, and I'm healthy and happy. But it's just more so, like, I just want to reach a lot of people, you know, and I just want to make sure that I'm happy. And I'm getting to I am at the point now where I'm, like, super happy with, like, myself. Like, I love myself so much. I'm very, like, I don't need a man right now, which is, like, that's new. I'm boy crazy, you know? So like that's a very new thing to where I'm like, oh, I'm happy with myself. And I think that goes for my success too, you know, because I've seen, you know, very successful people like not like always want more and more and more and more and more. And I'm really training my brain to not be like that because I see how fucking unhappy they are. And they just like kind of are so unhappy that they kind of are making everyone around them unhappy. And I do not want to do that, you know? So I think, I mean, that's, yeah, man, I wish I could take everything back. No, everything I said was true still, but I'm still teaching myself to, it's like, no, you are great no matter what number subscriber you have, what brands are working with you, what, you know, as long as I'm helping people, that's all I really care about, honestly. So to me, that is my new success.
Nice.
Yeah. My success isn't the outside things. It's more like the inside of
Like
everybody.
seeing the ways you're connecting with people and
Yeah.
making a difference.
Yeah.
That's a great goal. I mean, I think that's like the root of when most people are happy, when they're doing when they're doing acts of service, like that brings a lot of joy to
Yeah.
a
Jay
lot of
Shetty
people.
says that because Jay Shetty was a monk. So like, yeah, he was a monk for many years and now he's not. That's how he knows so much stuff about that. So actually, when I first started listening to Jay Shetty, that was the beginning of my healing journey and in quarantine. And one of the first things I remember him saying was saying like when he was a monk, the first thing they would do, they would wake up early and they would meditate and take care of themselves, do stuff for themselves. So then for the rest of the day, their cup's full enough for themselves that they could overflow and give love to everyone else. And
beautiful.
And like I very much live by that. That's why I'm such a huge promoter of like meditation and journaling and like doing stuff for yourself in the morning because the whole rest. I don't know.
Once the day happens, anything goes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm very like I give out so much. So once I started putting stuff in me first, like it just makes me feel I'm way more caring. I'm more considerate, so.
Well, you have like you can control your own self. Like you can control your temperance. You can actually like be in control of, and not just react to things, but respond to things,
Yeah.
So it's such a difference from like, I mean, when you're tired, when you're hungry, like that's when people say things they don't mean. Like that's when people kind of like just lose control over what they're doing. Like, I don't know. We've been talking, this is kind of random, but like about like sobriety as, and how that's kind of gotten to be a sexier concept the older we've gotten.
I
and
agree with that.
We still both really like alcohol, like double fisted in the drinks.
Sobriety is sexy. Drinks.
But I don't know. Gosh, why was I even bringing that up?
As we get older.
I don't know, controlling your temperance. You said temperance. We
you guys
know
like
that
temperance.
for sure.
So good thing I had that. Cause
I've never used the word temperance. So.
I have a poster in my bathroom. It's like a tarot card and it says temperance. That's why I was like, I love temperance. It means balance, by the way.
Balance.
Falls.
No, I mean, I think what you were, at least what you were talking about was like when someone reacts negatively to something, it's really like there's a feeling in them.
Thank you. It's control, right? So one of the things we've talked about in all of that is like a lot of celebrities give up alcohol because they don't want to be like out of control.
Yeah.
But I think it's just people get tired of responding poorly to situations because they're, sure, the beer was great, but then
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it wasn't worth it because I got so mad at myself when I, didn't work out the next morning because I was too tired. Or like there's kind of a trade-off and it just feels like as we've gotten older, there's more of those things. There's more trade-offs, like opportunity costs become higher as you get older and like you do have to fight and compete for time. And you're like, okay, how am I going to spend it? And I don't know. It's just like getting wasted. It's literally the equivalent of wasting time.
Wow.
Holy
Say it again.
shit.
Say it again.
Damn.
I'm going to throw a cherry.
No
shit.
cherry.
Wait, say it again first.
Well, okay. Wasting time. Getting wasted.
Wasting time.
Getting wasted is the same as wasted time.
Hey, throw a cherry for that one. We should have a bowl of cherries just to throw every time someone says something dope. But
That would be cool.
yeah,
I agree.
You're completely right.
And I feel that way. I feel that way too. So it's funny, this on the same level idea for me, my new thing is I don't want to do anything that makes me feel guilty afterwards.
I like that.
That is like a big thing I'm trying to do now. Like I don't drink. We used to drink, like every night get fucking blacked out, wasted, And even during those times, I literally would wake up just like, oh, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I didn't say that. When honestly, no one else thought anything of it. It's just everything in my head.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, there's no denying it's totally a depressant. So it does. It messes with your, your mood, what you choose to eat. Maybe you're going to be like out at 3 a.m. eating Taco Bell like you don't want to. Like it just kind of changes what you do.
And also when you get older, like when I get hungover, it's like 2 days.
Yeah.
I am
Right.
out.
So the trade-off is out of balance as well. Like when you're younger, sure, you're drinking, you're like a little more reckless, but there's less consequence to that,
That's
especially
true.
physically you're feeling.
It's like
And so now the drinking is even now less enjoyable because like we're not kids just like drinking and partying, like just the more you do it, the less enjoyable it gets. Plus the consequence is greater, so much greater. But yeah, like I have nights where it's like Christine's asleep, I'm up working on stuff. It's like, oh man, it'd be cool to just like drink a whiskey right now. It's like, but if I just drink tea, like I'll be proud of myself in the morning when I wake up. And then sometimes I choose whiskey, sometimes I choose tea. But when I choose the tea, then I wake up in the morning, I'm like stoked that I chose the tea. Like I didn't need the whiskey. I didn't even really want it. I don't even know what was making me say like it'd be fun to drink whiskey right now. It's kind of like, but
I mean, it's just
better.
in us.
Yeah, it kind of just is.
We did that every day for so long. Not every day,
the same.
but,
It's the same for me. It's like over years, right? Just since teenage years, and it's like it's just so unhealthy. And I don't know. I'm not at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to give it up completely. But I have been working for a while now on like reducing that just to free up other time. And
you've been. I don't know if you've been helping me or just like being around you. I drink less. Because like I'll be embarrassed if I'm just like drinking a lot, So
shame.
Like living with you, not that you shame me at all. You've never been like you're gonna have another drink, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm drinking a lot less lately too.
I'm trying to just enjoy it. Like I'd rather spend more on the whiskey that I love and like sip on it slowly, savor it, enjoy it. Whiskey Del Bach.
Del Bach with a little hexa coffee. Come on now. But I also do enjoy like hanging out with friends, sitting around a fire and like getting drunk, like I do like that. I think there is a place for it sometimes, especially when it's
that's I think the hardest
spending time with others.
But
that's
it's
such an easy way to connect
it's
with
a certain
people.
time. It's not an every night thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe it's
like low hanging fruit.
Maybe, but like if I'm visiting my family or visiting
That's
or
exactly
hanging
what
out
I
with
thought.
friends.
I thought the fire pit.
Right. And like sitting around a fire pit, like it's fun. I don't know. It's fun to get
No, I
kind
get
of
it.
drunk.
I know I like it too.
Like
I think there's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah. I think there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get wasted by myself in my house unless something's going on where I'm like, I need to fucking not think of anything, which that's not good either. But, it's like, I'm not going to do that, all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
So kids, the lesson here is in your 20s, if you're in your 20s, get fucking wasted every night.
Drink it up.
You'll
Booze
be
it up.
over it by the time you're 31. You will be done.
Yeah. Drink as much as you can.
No, drink responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsibly.
But
That's
honestly,
good.
I feel like the kids I don't know.
What are the kids these days up to? I don't even know.
I feel like they're drinking a lot of White Claw.
Yeah. It's not even real
And, like,
alcohol.
Taking mushrooms and like.
But
kids also drink Pedialyte to prepare for the hangover.
They're
which
so
is
smart.
brilliant.
Yeah,
That's the move.
I've never done that yet. Have you done it?
I have drank Pedialyte.
You were sick not too long ago, and you were like, "Give me some Pedialyte," and you were just drinking it, and I was like,
What is it?
"It's just like Gatorade. It's just
it's like-
electrolytes.
yeah.
It's like water, but
Is it for
plus.
babies?
It's for babies.
Okay.
It's made for children when
infants,
you get dehydrated.
when you get like diarrhea or the flu.
They should
and
make
you've-
adult Pedialyte.
Well, it's
well,
just Pedialyte. And it's the same.
Oh, it's not for babies.
It's
not
like
exclusively
safe for
for
babies.
babies.
Like, do you find
Neither
it in
is
the baby
food?
You do.
You find it in the baby section.
Yeah. Sometimes
You
baby
do.
food is very healthy. On tour, when I used to tour, one of my buddies would just buy baby food at Walmart because that's the like healthiest
It's like
thing
a
in there.
smoothie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever me and Fabian were, we used to go on our big Gaga excursions, like tour basically through states. And Fabian would always eat not baby food, but like, the one in the pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
And
in
it was
the
good.
pouch. What one in the pouch?
I don't know. It's like
it has a
it's like a
big
Capri
thing.
Sun
Yeah.
almost, and there's like an
orange
an
thing.
orange knob. You unscrew and
Oh yeah, the kids love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Fabian's
Oh
very
my god, what are
healthy.
those called? They're like not crushables.
yeah, like munchers,
Squeezables?
squeezables maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that
yeah.
what they're called?
Oh,
Maybe
no.
that's it.
I don't know, but I've been really craving a Capri Sun lately. I actually
yeah?
need to get one.
There's
I've been
something
craving one
there's
for a
something
week.
so good about all like the nostalgia snacks. Like I was craving Dunkaroos and he ordered them for my birthday. Like when was the last time you've had Dunkaroos?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh no!
It was like
Oh
the
man!
classic like
Edit it
it's
in.
a
You
thing-
gotta edit it in.
I won't do it. It's a thing. It comes like you peel off the top and there's cookies and then there's like a frosting to dip
Icing.
the cookies in.
It's crazy.
But it was just like cake, icing, and cookies, and they were kangaroo shaped. It was called Dunkaroos.
They were a good
It was
time.
the bomb,
Super loved them.
but it's super
Super
unhealthy.
I will say they like hurt my teeth
Yeah, well,
you know,
yeah,
it was
well,
better.
sure.
It was better when I was a kid than it was when I was an
Well,
adult. But I
sure.
still loved it.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, oh my god, what other '90s snacks? There was like the pretzel
Lunchables.
sticks and the cheese. Did you
I
ever
never
do
liked that.
those?
I don't like
I
that
don't like
cheese.
that. Yeah.
I liked that. I'm all for every type of
Lunchables, though.
cheese.
Lunchables,
Even
pizza
fake
Lunchables.
Pizza Lunchables are
yeah,
good.
those were like-
I also
Oh.
like the
They were good, but they weren't. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
really
yeah,
had no
very
flavor,
that.
but I was still so like happy to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's good, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's
it was
good,
like
but
the
it's not.
aesthetic.
Fun.
The aesthetic was
Yeah.
fun.
Right.
But that's why I love charcuterie boards now because what?
Charcutterie boards.
It's such a hard word. God
She
damn
always
it.
says it wrong too.
You say it wrong.
God damn
I'm sorry.
it, charcuterie.
You love charcuterie boards.
Charcuterie. How do you say
I
it?
think that was right.
Charcuterie. You said charcuterie. It doesn't matter. I'm an asshole.
Play the tapes. No,
You're
I'm
an
just
asshole.
kidding.
Yeah, I like charcuterie boards, and I think it's because I love the Lunchables, like the little cracker, you know.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm all
that's
about
I'm all about
perfect
those
bite.
boards too.
You know, crafting up that perfect bite.
By the way, everyone. Oh my god, I thought that was someone outside. By the way, everyone, Paul makes like the best charcuterie boards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I make a good spread.
Yeah,
I do love a
but
spread.
also I just don't know
You.
cheeses, so I'm pretty sure I can do it too. But
Yeah, you can. It's so easy. I mean, it's just get cheese, crackers, little meats, and olives.
yeah,
Pretty
I want to
formulaic.
decorate a really nice one day. Like try.
Dude,
I
my
catered
brother
a
did
party once
crazy
and I
one.
got to do all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't even like my money I was spending. It was so
Oh, see, I
fun.
like that. Maybe that's why I don't like doing it. I'm like, yeah, Paul can do it.
yeah. Booch it up.
I mean, if once you get good cheese in the mix, it can add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hacks. I'm all about nuts, some dried fruit. You got to have some like spreads. You know, you want a
Yeah.
mustard
And,
or
like,
a jam or something.
the
You
look
sure.
too is a big. The aesthetic
like-
is big.
eat
Okay.
with your eyes.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Eat
I
with your
think
eyes.
I don't really want to do the buying, but if someone gave me the supplies, I would love to decorate it. I have so many pinned on Pinterest of
Oh, yeah.
charcuterie boards, and I've never done it just because I don't want to buy it. I'm
Dude.
like, someone set it up for me, and then I'll do it.
I'll show you
We
the
should.
photo after.
We'll picnic it.
Oh,
Des,
yeah.
we're meant to have a picnic.
Yes,
There
we
you go.
are.
I'll show you the photo after, but shout out to Adam Brisky, my bro. He watches all
Hi,
the
Adam.
episodes.
He just subscribed to me on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Adam's the
nice.
best.
Biggest fan.
But over Christmas, they made this charcuterie board that was
Hi,
like
Katie. Oh, sorry.
crazy. Like I was a day later, but I just saw the photo. It was like, I'll show you the picture. It was incredible. Shout out to Adam.
Hi,
I just wanted to shout
Adam.
out
And
Adam.
Adam's a
Katie.
good
And
foodie.
Katie.
And
I
Katie.
feel more excited about natural wines. Talking about more alcohol, I'm falling in love with. He
We're like,
now I'm
fuck
like
alcohol.
I'm
We're like, yeah,
literally
alcohol.
underscoring everything I just said. But yeah, the natural wine phenomenon is just so fun. There's a wine shop in Atwater Village that I go to, and it's just like all the bottles are like bright magenta and orange, and they're all kind of carbonated because that's what happens in natural wines. And
Yeah, a lot of wine
the vice.
has
That's my vice.
added like additives, you know, like if you just buy wine at Trader Joe's or whatever.
I mean, I believe it.
well,
Everything
don't
has
put
additives.
Trader
Yeah.
Joe's in the ring. They actually have a great wine selection and
But it's
ton of
not
organic.
natural.
No, but they do have a lot of organic wines.
But they're
which
not
is,
natural wines. There's still all those additives and
Right.
shit.
Well, yeah.
Look, I drink it. I'm just
know,
saying.
natural wines
I'm just
are a step
explaining
above.
the concept.
You're right. There's a hierarchy. You're right.
There's a hierarchy. Oh, well.
We're not done, are we?
No.
Okay,
no.
I was
I
like,
don't-
I want to keep going.
No,
the
no,
fun
no.
is just begun.
I was just going to change
Pivot.
the subject
Pivot
a little
it
bit. I'm
up.
going to pivot. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Do
Pivot,
you
if
have
you
a
will.
topic or can I say something?
Say something,
Okay, I have a story. It's a
Go
funny
for it.
story. I'm
please.
like, how do I say this? I don't think he'll listen. I hung out with my neighbor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think he'll listen.
So-
I
Sorry,
don't
Steven.
think I've heard anything
Your
about
neighbor,
this neighbor.
he's a cutie?
Yeah, the cutie
patootie?
neighbor. He's my friend though. So we need to stop. I need to stop being weird about it.
So chronicle the whole thing. When did you first meet him?
I think the first time I ever met him was, it was in the morning time, right? I just came down the stairs and I literally just walked down. Then all of a sudden I hear, and I was just like, and I live alone now. I don't know if I should say that, but
What's your address?
It is. I'm just kidding. And I got scared because I'm like, oh my God, someone's knocking on my door. You know, I'm scared. And
It's
then,
always scary. People should not show up unannounced.
No,
FYI,
I
it's
agree.
out of style. It's past the year that's acceptable.
Yeah. No, I agree. You text me you're outside.
Yeah,
You know.
let me know what's up.
Text
Walking up to
No,
the house.
not even that. Text me, but like, hey,
I'm
can
on
I
my
come
way.
over?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
can I
for
stop
sure.
by?
Like you have to ask now.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
even if you know someone's coming over, like, don't just knock.
Oh,
Be
no,
like,
no. I'm
parking,
here.
walking up. I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Don't fucking just walk. Yeah, anyway, but it was a special situation because he actually saved my life. But it was so funny because I like went up to my door so quietly, you know, the little peephole thing, and like I like look, and I didn't realize it from the outside, but you know my window's here, so there's light. And I just block the light. And like as soon as I do that, I look in and I see him. He's like, I don't even say anything. He's just like, hey. And I'm like, oh, hey. He's like, you left your keys in your door. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Wow.
Did I have never told you that?
No.
Oh my God.
That's something I would do.
Yeah, I left my keys in my door. And thank God. That is actually so nice, like to do, you know?
Absolutely.
Especially he probably seen me and was just like, oh, she's a, you know, single girl, like living alone. Like this is probably not good, you know?
I don't think she meant to do that.
Yeah, I don't think this is on
Right.
purpose. No, to me, I'm like, no, it means come in. Just kidding. But yeah, then I was like, oh my God, thank you, blah, 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 blah. And then I kind of like, it was so fast because I was so nervous. I'm nervous about around boys, like quarantine. I mean, I was nervous before. But now after quarantine, I'm like, oh my God, straight boy. Like, don't look at me. Because I hang out with a lot of gays, okay? But then a few days later, I saw him. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. By the way, I'm Des. Blah, blah, blah. Introduced. So sweet. And I saw him over, a couple times because he's right next to me. And then I'm trying to make it faster. Then like a few weeks, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I talked to him and his friends in the hallway. Then like a few days ago when I was on my way to dinner, like I was in my car and I actually went to dinner with Sam. She's...
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She came to your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love her. I went to dinner with her, my new friend. Anyways, I'm in the car, then I see him, then he comes up to my car and we're talking and I was like, he's like, we should hang out sometime or something or kick it, straight guys. And I'm like, yeah, what's your Instagram? Aren't you proud of me? Okay.
Smooth.
Anyways.
Smooth.
Yeah, and then I got his Instagram and we have a few mutual friends. Actually, I'll tell you. But then the next day I saw that he got a puppy. And I was just like, that's my way
Game
to swoop it. And I was
changer.
like, is that your dog? I was like, can I come over? So then there was time in between this, but basically I went over to his house, hung out with him and his puppy for like an hour and a half and stuff. And I love his puppy. And he's so nice. He's so cool. So shout out to Steven.
Yes, Steven.
He makes music, which I think I told you before.
did,
I was
yep.
like, I could hear him making music, but literally it's like your setup. Like it's crazy. And I was telling him, I was just like, oh my God, like this reminds me of my old house. And I was like, you have to meet my friends, JC and Paul, because you guys can make music, blah, blah, blah. And I showed them That Kid Is You.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how, but like you have to meet them and make music.
Is that breaks outside or is that a camera?
No, it was breaks. I
Okay.
hear people.
Sorry.
But the
not
reason
alone.
I'm trying to say this story, long story short, he started talking about Bam Margera, and then he said it a couple times, and like I think he said Steve-O or something, and I'm like, what did I say? I said something like, because I told him I worked for Patrick, like I was an editor basically, and then I was like, oh, do you like Steve-O stuff? Trying to and be like, oh, I know the editor. And then I was like, oh, my friend Paul, I showed you in that band, he actually edits for Steve-O. He's like, oh, that's cool. And then he's like, yeah, I actually really love his podcast. And I'm like, well, that's funny. I'm like, do you watch it? Or I never listen to Steve-O's podcast, so I assume he watched it.
Rude.
Yeah, sorry. Busy, remember?
No, I was totally joking.
And then he was like, yeah, he's like, it's him, the other guy, and the guy in the front. And I was just like, oh my God, that's my best friend. And then it was just so funny. He was like, the guy who chimes in every now and then. I'm like, yeah, that's my best friend.
Wow, funny.
That's so funny.
That's
small
crazy.
world.
Yeah. I was like, oh, thanks, Paul. You made me look so cool.
Cool, yeah.
I know, it's like my nephew, I got instant cool points just because, Preston's obsessed. I feel like with you.
Yeah,
Like it's just
it's so funny
instant
because
cool
I do
points.
just feel like the guy that chimes in sometimes, you know, like
But it's cool.
it is cool. I love it. Oh my God. I tell Steve all the time, I'm like, thank you for letting me be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, this is my
I'm
favorite
jealous.
thing that we do. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. And like, not just like I get to be on camera, but like I get to talk to
Have a
people.
word.
I get to say like, Tiffany Haddish, I have a question. Can I? And she'll answer my question. Like
That's so cool.
it's unbelievable. But yeah, I feel like, you know, I do feel like just the guy that chimes in sometimes, you know, like,
But that's good. Okay.
You're a wingman.
I'm a
Okay.
wingman. Yeah. Like I'm ensemble, you know,
But the way I see,
For now.
for now.
exactly, yeah, no, the way I see
Well, that's why I started my own thing.
you, like you and even me, it's just like, you know, we work for these like big people, but we're literally like, we have our own dreams and like things, and like we kind of are learning through them,
Definitely.
and then we're gonna at one point, you know, break off and do our own thing.
100%.
And it's cool because we like, oh, like this is how I got here. Like the story's cool, and also like it's just a good way to learn right under the people who are super successful. You know,
Definitely.
like why not learn from the best? You know,
100%. Like it was, I mean, that's kind of what really, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while. Like even at the Encino house, I was like, oh, I was even kind of mapping out how we would
you even did
shoot
it
a
at
podcast
the-
in the
at
room.
Local House.
Right. We did the Boyfriends podcast. We
Yeah.
did 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And like, but then once I was doing Steve's, I'm like, oh, like I'm on a podcast. Might as well start my own. Like might as well start my own because I might, you know, I'm lucky to be on Steve's podcast. Maybe tomorrow he'd be like, look, we're going to change it. Like, it's just going to be me or it's just going to be whatever, which would be totally fine.
Yeah.
But like, so that's what really pushed me to like start a podcast right now. And like, Steve uses the same microphone, same this. Like, Steve gave me that camera, you know, like, so it really worked out. But yeah, I view my life the exact same way. That like, I'm training under like some really high caliber
Yeah.
person, and yeah, and Steve knows this. Like, I'm working towards being able to do my own thing, and be my own Steve-O, yeah. Or just be my own boss. Like,
Yeah. No.
I think my goal is, because you talked about like what your sort of like next big checkpoint is, or just
Yeah.
feeling like you're giving to people, you know?
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like, because I love working for Steve. It's a dream job.
Yeah.
As far as jobs go, it's the best job.
Same for me.
Yeah.
But like, I would still rather not.
Yeah.
Like if I had $1 billion,
Oh,
I wouldn't go to Steve's every day.
Make my own style.
Right. And so it's like, there's some things that I do that just kind of like fall out of me.
Yeah.
Like music just kind of like, I can't not make music. This podcast, I love doing it. Like, it doesn't feel like work at all. It's just like
Yeah.
so like the things that fall out of me, if I can make that my income,
Yeah.
like that's my next, you know, once I get that point, I will crave something else
Yeah.
and that's fine. But that is what I'm craving right now.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I'm close, but there will be a point where there is a leap of faith moment.
Ooh, those moments, they're the best, but they're the worst.
It's like having a kid. You know how people say like, oh, I want kids, but like, I'm not ready yet. And like, I said that in front of my mom and she was like, you think we were ready? Like, who's ready? No one's ready. You just have the kid and you figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, like I still have this job. Like, I'm not ready to quit yet. But it's like, who's ready? You know, like, so there will be a point. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, like now I have like $1 million from this job. Now I can quit and pursue music.
doesn't
Like,
work
it's
like
not going to work
that.
like that.
Yeah.
It will be a scary thing to do when I do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of working towards that moment. And I've told Steve this, and you know,
I should.
he's the best. He's so supportive. We were on T-Pain was on our podcast the other day.
I saw that.
And
that
T-Pain was
cool.
talking about how he on the show. T-Pain is like he has a label now, and he's like, yeah. And Steve's like, oh, so like you're always trying to hear new artists, listen to music. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, like Paul makes music, and like this on the podcast.
nice.
I fucked up by
So
not
sweet.
saying, yeah, my band is That Kid Is
Yeah,
You.
chance, Paul.
Next time I know, yeah.
Next time.
Do a little audio pickup, yeah. That Kid Is You, my group. I could maybe do it, but
Oh, dude,
I mean,
but
if
it was just
anyone's
I was
gonna pull
just
it off.
afterwards. I was like, dude. that was so nice of you. Like, thank you. Like, what the fuck, you know? And afterwards, I airdropped our Argentina project to T-Pain. I don't know if he heard it. I doubt he heard it, but
T-Pain,
whatever.
you better listen.
Yo, T-Pain.
It's in his phone.
It's in his phone.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
He did not.
yeah, declined the airdrop. Yeah.
Got
He's
it.
like, I got it. I'm like, no, it says declined. Where'd you go? T-Pain. He was so cool. But yeah, it's this weird, like, I don't know, dichotomy of like, I love this job. It's the best.
I love
but it's also
this
not.
conversation.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I'm in the same place.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I
it's
know
gonna be scary. I mean, it's gonna be really scary. And
when
go
you
ahead.
quit the Dudesons, what was the feeling for you? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, that was.
That we're coming to you, so be ready.
Oh shit! I'm
that
in the
was-
dugout.
It was similar. Like, it was similar. I mean, I just.
What was your like feeling like in your body like the day you were gonna quit? Like were you like, oh fuck, like I don't know. Do you get
I
graduation
quit.
goggles? You know?
I quit in Peru before I fell.
Oh fuck.
We were on the
So
mountain.
you're saying
You really went out
with. You
No.
You could push
No.
him over the edge
He
for
was
sure.
he was completely supportive, but we were on the mountain, and Yuka and I were just had a moment. We were just talking, and I was like, "Look, after this show, I'm gonna move on to something else."
Oh, what'd he say?
He said, "Yeah, great, like good for you." Like he was completely 100% supportive.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, things just. I'm very cyclical, like chapters. I view my life as chapters, you know, and like
Same.
I don't want a chapter to be too long, you know, like 2.5, 3 years, like that's good, you know, like next. And just anytime
Oof.
I like this.
not for you, not talking about my people
I
I'm
didn't-
dating.
I didn't
Well,
mean
not you.
I just got that. Yeah, two years.
Next,
We're
yeah,
out.
2 years. We just
Good
celebrated
to
2 years, by the
know.
way. So we got one more left. No, I'm just kidding.
That's amazing. My brain didn't, because I didn't think of it as relationship.
No, I didn't mean it as a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I've never had a
I
relationship
tease.
last more than
I
like
tease.
9 months. Except for this one. But like, anytime I've taken a leap of faith, quit something that was sort of still happening.
Yes.
Anytime I took a leap of faith, I landed higher than I jumped from.
Same.
So I knew quitting.
Oh, that must be nice.
Well, it
No,
just takes jumping.
I've jumped plenty of times. You don't get it.
But
Look
yeah,
at
look
you.
at
What do you mean?
You live in LA.
I do. I
You're
live
You live in
an
LA,
amazing
you have a
house.
podcast, you make amazing music.
Okay, now back to you guys. This is
No,
No, go.
It's all about perspective, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about perspective.
yeah, but like for me, how I define success, I don't currently necessarily have.
Same.
Same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's all relative. Like,
Yeah.
and
I just
and
don't. I guess I just mean like I'm in a very different position than you guys. You guys are you're on a cusp of graduating, and I am currently positioned as a beginner again. And it's okay. I chose to be back at a new beginning. Like I chose this, but you know, it's a different point in the cycle.
But
I
every
think-
time you graduate, you're back to being a freshman.
Yeah. Like whenever
Because you're
I
talking about graduating and leaping to another position that in your mind is higher. But
But maybe you just haven't landed yet.
well,
Like
Yeah.
I didn't quit the
Exactly.
Dudesons and then a month later be working for Steve. I quit on the
No,
mountain,
you-
then fell,
quite a
then
journey.
recovered for like a whole year, then actually got invited back to work for the Dudesons, and I took that position. So then I went back. I worked for them for another like 6 months or something like that, and then it got to a point where we all quit, and it just felt like time to move on. You know?
I don't think it ever is like beginning, then starting over again. I don't think it's ever
not that clean. I think you're right.
It's just like, this is a graph. Okay. I think it's like going up, then maybe going down a little, but then going higher. You know, it's a very like, because you learn so much within a job. So whenever you start your new one, of course, with anything, it's going to be new. You know, it's always going to be the beginning. But you take all those qualities you learned already and
Well,
it blasts
absolutely.
you up.
I agree. And like how I'm defining success has changed a lot. Like
Yeah.
for me, it used to be more about like title and salary and things. And now I'm like, okay, well, how can I improve the quality of life that I have? And so
Period.
that's
Love
kind of,
that.
it has changed, but I don't know. It's just, it feels uncomfortably slow a lot of the
Yeah.
time. Like it just, I'm not comfortable with like how long it's taken me to kind of like find my footing. Like normally I just feel like I do rebound really quickly and I'm like, okay, ready, go. And then I just have like found something new that fits and feels good. So, but I will say I'm starting a new art teaching position literally tomorrow. So
Christine was told today you got the job.
So if this energy feels stale and you've been hearing it before, I know. Thank you for your patience. But I'm like finally
No.
coming to a different spot, which is good.
I think the human experience is all over the place. There are so many times,
doubt.
where,
Messy
I
little thing.
look very like, I'm very uphill. I look like, but I'm like, when I'm alone, I go down. So maybe, you're feeling that way, but I don't personally see it that way for you. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Like it's all just, I don't think it's just uphill actually. So I take away my graph, erase. It's just
Good, I
everywhere.
don't like graphs.
Yeah, it's
no,
just
but
everywhere.
that's a really, what you just said, like, Des feels the same way you feel.
Yeah.
And Des sees
Yeah.
you the same way you see Des.
Yes, that's a good way to
That's
put it.
interesting.
That's
You
a
know?
good way to put it.
I know. Isn't that such a bitch though? Sometimes there can be such a disconnect
Life's a
between
bitch.
how
Life's
you
a
see yourself
bitch.
and
Oh.
how other people see yourself.
100%.
It's
I mean, that's
very
everyone.
It's just so weird sometimes.
But that's okay. So that's where my self-love practice is coming along. I'm very much trying to feed it back to myself. So I do affirmations in the morning. Dude, affirmations fucking work. It's crazy.
I need to get them
crazy.
back in my life. I used to like
send you
pin
some
them to my
videos.
mirror and stuff, and I don't do that anymore.
Well, all I do is like I have like a saved playlist or a saved video on my YouTube, and as soon as I like have any like when I wake up, I'm just like, okay, I'm alive. I play it, so I can still fall back asleep, but at least I'm hearing it. It's like going through my body, And then the days that I do wake up, I try to say it back in my mind, and like it's honestly so crazy how well they work, and I think it helps. So I'll send it to you.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
affirmations definitely help my self-confidence and my worth. And even like, I'll just get like a channel of like affirmations to myself. My favorite one that came to me, I was doing yoga, right? And this is when I first got into affirmations. And what was it? I was trying to like, cause it's like, obviously I want a relationship at one point in my life. And I was trying to figure out like, why do I keep trying to find it so much? Like, I don't need to try to find it. It will happen when it happens, And it's just because, like, I want to give my love. Like, I'm very, like, I want to love you, let me love you. But, so I turned it around. I'm like, I'm worthy of my own love. And that shit was crazy. Yeah. So it's like being like, instead of like me giving someone my love, I'm like, no, turn it back around. Like, I deserve my own love.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's just a new affirmation.
That's beautiful.
I gave
That's
myself.
nice.
Thanks.
That felt good as you said that. I felt that.
Thanks. Yeah. So say it to yourself, like at least like randomly, if you think about it, just say it to yourself. Like, I'm worthy of my own love. And like, you'll just feel your like self-love, like grow. And like, it gives yourself like compassion. Like, I'm compassionate of my own love, or compassionate of myself, something like that. You'll think of your own, but
Yeah.
Sure.
No, it's always such a work. Like you wouldn't say any of the things you say. Like a lot of times people would say things to themselves that they just wouldn't say to their friend. Like they would have the compassion not to say something so mean to somebody else, but then you just don't even realize like you could be doing it to yourself.
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
it's fucked.
It's a journey. It's
Sure.
a journey.
And also give yourself credit or give yourself some slack because this particular
Yeah.
leap you've took was mid global
Yeah.
once in 100 years pandemic.
Yeah.
Like where everyone is out of work for the most part, or just it's a crazy time, and like so it's not like I wouldn't measure this against what happened in other times, like this was crazy circumstances.
And
No
also,
doubt.
if you really put it into perspective, so from my view, right? So you lost your job. Is that what happened?
Not really. I essentially was working remotely to move here, but I knew that wasn't like a sustainable thing to have to commute to Tucson. And that was
Yeah.
just, I was struggling, I think, just honestly, just feeling like super isolated and depressed.
And you didn't want to be at that job anymore, right?
It wasn't serving me anymore because I just was very anxious and I just couldn't really function in it anymore. But it was so different from like the way that position used to be, which like I, loved so much. So I think it's just been hard, like, because as much as I wanted to make this move, I didn't realize like how much I was gonna really grieve my old job and even my old life. Like, you know,
but you made literally a huge jump.
Yeah.
You moved to LA.
Well,
with
but I had
your
also
love.
just done it. I had just done it a year before. Like I'm like
Left
three moves
to Tucson.
in like 2 years. Like I've been unplugging and restarting and trying so hard to like keep climbing. But
I did that for a while. Remember when I was a gypsy for like 3 years? I moved like so many times. Like
I mean,
6
sometimes
times.
that's what life deals you, you know?
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's adventure filled. I just get tired and huffy and puffy a little bit sometimes.
You don't get huffy and puffy, or your huffy and puffy is so mild compared to some huffy and puffy.
thought you were
I've
gonna say
experienced.
Dez's huffy
compared
and
to
puffy.
Dez's huffy and puffy. No, your huffy and puffy is great too. But you know, like Christine moved here, and then it's pandemic LA. So it's not even LA. It's not even like I moved to LA. Like I'm gonna go.
It's not
We're gonna
the
go
full
out.
experience.
We're gonna go here. We're gonna go to Santa Monica. There's these cool restaurants, these cool bars, like the nightlife, the concerts. It's none of that. And
Yeah.
it was just this house, unfortunately, you know. And like it's a beautiful
great
house, but you know, I feel like you weathered it pretty well. You know, like and strongly. And look at you. You're on a podcast. When
That's
we
true.
first started dating. When I asked you to do this podcast, I thought you were going to say no, you know, because you don't like doing this kind of thing necessarily, or you're just
Well,
there was
I
a fear.
didn't.
There was a fear of it,
Yeah.
of putting yourself out there, of being on camera, of exposing your
Myself,
true self,
honestly,
your true self, you know, and like just taking your mask off, just shooting the shit for an hour and a half, and look at you,
super
you know?
unfamiliar. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I
and-
was laughing because I just went to visit my sisters. I was like, okay, this will be good. I'll see my sisters, like refill my bucket up. And I was like, what am I going to say? I'm not really working yet, but I'm loving LA. And then I was thinking about it. And I'm like, oh my God, I got so LA without even realizing it. I'm on a podcast. My friends are vloggers.
You make music.
I make music. Like, be more of a hipster.
You live in a fucking amazing house in Glendale.
I know,
Like,
right?
I'm jealous of your guys' house. I live in my apartment though, but you know.
Your apartment's
cozy.
dope.
Thanks.
We
For
do
the
have a
love of
wood-burning
God, we have
fireplace,
to
though.
get to your apartment.
Huh?
We gotta get over to. I have not been to your
yeah.
apartment.
That's crazy. Honestly, no one comes to my apartment though. 'Cause
We
the
almost went the other night for Brendan's
Oh my
birthday.
God.
We were
Did you-
so
I
close.
chickened out.
We were so close.
I was like, actually, no, let's go to Paul's house.
Were you? So you, the drive over here? Were you like, I should have just had everyone come over? What's wrong with
No,
me?
on
Or
my
what-
way, because I drove here by myself and I was like, I'm so fucking glad we're going to Paul's
Oh, okay.
house.
So when you were talking about you chickened out,
Oh, I chickened out in the moment.
because but that was truly what you wanted, was for us to not come over.
Yeah.
What was it? Like laundry's out, dishes in the sink? Like what's,
No, honestly, what it was one, parking's really hard. I thought it was going to be a big inconvenience for everyone. That's really what it was. So the parking's hard. It was already like 11 p.m. Like, I've never had that many people over. I don't have any alcohol. Like, it's just a bitch. I know here, there's parking somewhere on this street.
we still got the alcohol.
Yeah.
You got the booze.
But it's like, it was, I know
Yeah.
there's liquor stores around. And also, like, we could stay here till like 2 a.m. or something, like a bar. But I think I just want slowly smaller groups, like you guys first, and then other people. But I do want to have like a more people because, I love game night. So
You were talking about redecorating your room too. Are you still doing all
yeah.
that?
That's a pause for now because I bought my camera instead. So
Nice.
it's like balance,
Okay.
So yeah,
Worth
One
it.
thing at a time.
one thing at a time.
You can, when you're ready, you'll vlog about the room redecorating.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was my thought process. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a video. Redecorating my bedroom.
Right.
That's
so
like
you're going to
that
need a
is the
camera for when you do redecorate.
That's the
your bedroom.
Exactly.
content that I love to watch. Like
Yeah.
home staging, redecorating. Oh, it's the best.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I'm very excited to do your podcast. Was this less pressure being a guest versus being a host?
That's a good question. I guess I think I feel a little bit more pressure for my podcast just because I don't know. It's you though. Like I feel a little pressure just because I want it to be good for my podcast. This one, it's like, I know it's going to be good because it's your podcast. I'm not saying that mine won't be good.
I know what
you
you're
know
saying.
what I mean, though? It's just like, I have to.
Yeah, the
make sure
pressure's
it's good.
different.
Like, I'm excited to do yours because the pressure will be off.
Oh, really?
Just like, I guess if I'm the host, you know, if we get to a moment like, whoop, and it's like, oh, I better come up with something. I better keep this going.
Okay, yeah,
I'm the host.
Same.
But when I'm on your show tomorrow, I don't give a fuck. You know, like, you got to keep that going.
Yeah. Don't say that.
You know, but like, so I'm excited to be a guest. And I don't feel the pressure on Steve's podcast either. I feel more pressure on this podcast a little bit than on Steve's.
Because
on
baby.
Steve's, if I say nothing, that's what people would prefer, you know? Like, so I just get my one or two things in there.
Yeah.
And I'm out. And I am saying more and more. And I'm always like, did I say too much? And Steve's like, dude, say more. That was great, you know? But
that's so amazing that he says that.
it is. He's the best. Oh my God.
He honestly is such a nice guy.
He's absurd. I actually...
Wait, really quick. Whenever I was telling my neighbor about it, I was just like, yes, Steve. Like I said Steve. Just because I wanted to see. Because the first time you said Steve, I'm like, Steve?
I do it now too, and people are like, really, Christine, you're going to be on like a first name basis? I'm like,
you are.
his name is Steve.
He's on first name basis with you.
He knows my name.
Yeah, you're on
which is
first name
like
basis.
weird.
That's his name.
That was a weird, that was another LA moment. Like, I don't know a lot of celebrities. I haven't had a lot of encounters, but
Okay.
I've held my own enough. But I get like, I knew I was still nerding out when I couldn't like let go of the fact that I made Steve-O laugh. I'd be like, I got him. And then I'd like get in the car and be like, remember, Paul, that joke I made that made Steve laugh?
That's how I feel about Jessica Alba. I'm like, remember when I made Jessica Alba laugh?
Remember when I said that funny thing? Yeah.
That's how I feel on the podcast. Like if I make the guest laugh, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to edit it to see that part again.
Yeah,
you know,
right,
like when I said something funny that Tiffany Haddish laughed at or something.
I can't wait till
Exactly.
someone feels that way about me. Like, remember when I made Des laugh?
Yeah, maybe people feel that way already.
Maybe.
But what something I realized recently, like,
Tell
you
me.
know, when you're a boss and you have employees,
Boss sauce.
you want to encourage those people. You should let them know as often or pretty often, like, hey, you're doing a great job. Just want like love, like positive encouragement. And I never thought that as an employee, I should also be doing that for my boss.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And like I sort of
couldn't
just
hurt.
realized that recently. It couldn't hurt. But, like,
Recently? Like, how recently?
the other day. Like it's
Yeah,
not like I've
like
been
literally
acting
this week.
like Steve's a bad boss.
Yeah.
But
You just do your work.
I show up, I do my work,
Yeah.
and I'm out. And like I think
I
it got to a point. I don't want to. Well, whatever. I think maybe he was feeling like I didn't appreciate the job or something like that, or
Yeah.
didn't appreciate him.
There are
and
people
and he's
too.
done. He's just like over and over done so much to appreciate or to make me feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And I always just in my head, it's like, thank you, and also like I'm showing up, I'm working, and you're paying me. Like that's the arrangement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and like
and some bosses prefer that. But I guess maybe if you have a relationship with your boss, you know, you
Yeah.
start fucking him and stuff, you know, you should give him feedback.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
people are
now
gonna
that we're
get-
fucking, now
they're
that-
gonna get insecure. You know, I mean, it's like
You see a
that's
lot of
one
him.
thing I feel like I've been doing differently, like this round and this phase of my life with interviews. It's like, oh yeah, like I'm actually interviewing you. I'm seeing.
Do
if
I wanna work for
Do I
you?
want to work for you?
Yeah.
And like a lot of these companies, like, you know, I did get offered jobs before the ones I've taken, but I was like, oh no, like there were so many red flags in this process. Like
I love that for you.
yeah, I'm like I can't sign up for that. Like that is the opposite of what I need to be doing,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I love
And
that.
I just think that bosses know that you have a lot of options. Like, you know, you have a lot of ambitions and there's a lot that employers compete with to like, you know, keep good talent around. And yeah, I could understand as a boss why that like
yeah,
a
Like, do
little
you
bit
tell
of feedback
Patrick
goes a long
how
way.
much you appreciate him, or do you like you're doing a great job managing the team? You know?
I mean, yeah. Well, because I mean,
Because
even
it's a weird thing to say. Because you
me,
feel like a suck up or something, you know?
well, okay. I think it's different with you and Steve and me and Patrick, because Patrick's my friend. You know,
Steve's my friend now.
You know, I mean, but like he's like he's like one of my best friends.
Right.
You know,
it's like
so it's a little different, I feel. But I mean, no matter what, like, it's just because I love his work so much. And I'm not saying you don't love Steve's work. I just like, I'm a very lifting you up kind of person. You know, I'm very that anyways. And I know his love language is words of affirmation. So I pump it up, but not like because of that. I just know it will fill his soul. And I like filling people's souls, you know, and like making them feel like you're doing, because he is doing amazing, like honestly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's just something I need to improve on. I'm just expressing it now. Like I need to I've been trying to remind Steve more, like, or just tell him more, like, dude, you're the best. I tell Christine all the time, God, fucking Steve's so amazing. You know what he did today? Yeah. He fucking told T-Pain, or he fucking did this for me, did that, gave me this, did this for me.
Maybe you're scared to be a fangirl.
Yeah. I am.
To like trying to play it cool or something.
I am. Like, I don't want to suck up to him.
I'm Patrick's biggest fan. I tell him, I'm like, I'm your biggest fan. But like, even though he's my like best friend and like I work for him, like, but still I'm just like, no, I'm not going to edit something that I don't like, period.
Yeah.
Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
me neither.
So like, I'm very like, if something's really good, I'm going to let you know, like, hey, keep doing this, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why I brought it up. It's just something I've been thinking about.
I like it.
And I've been trying to.
It's like a great way to
connect,
him honestly. More. Yeah, it's like connection more than anything. Like you know, it shouldn't be like something you say because you feel obligated. You say it when you're like in the moment when you're really feeling like grateful for your work. Like that's when you just
another weird thing here
it.
Though. When I get really, really honest with someone, I sort of well up.
Who do you think you're reveeling this information to?
Okay,
like
fine.
Your best friend and your girlfriend.
Fine.
We know who you are, Paul.
I don't want to start telling Steve like, dude, you're the best, and just start crying.
Why not?
I'm afraid I'm gonna cry.
Not? That's so Paul of you.
It's true.
That's a new Paul thing, I feel like.
What, being afraid to cry, or just
I think that's
the
the
crying
almost death version. After the you almost died, you got more sentimental for sure. Naturally,
so. Yes.
Even like a little bit after that, you were still like very like I am steel, you know, because you used to call me sensitive bitch.
I didn't say bitch. Oh, no, you're calling me a bitch.
Bitch.
I think you were sensitive, maybe. Why did I call you sensitive?
But that's okay.
Well, it is. It's I understand that it is uncomfortable to cry and be overwhelmed with emotion in front of somebody. Like people want to talk about like feeling a balance and in control of their emotions. Like, yeah, obviously it'd be preferable for you to say it in a way that you feel composed, you're not crying, whatever. However, if that happens, it's
I would
still
just have
a beautiful
to tell him like,
moment.
look, when I'm really genuine, I might cry.
But he'll love that.
He would.
He's so nice.
He would, and he's cried in front of me before, talking about stuff, talking about like Lux or just his life. Like he's welled up, or just his appreciation for his life and things like that. I've seen him cry a few times.
You're gonna say that on air?
Hey, how about this? Look at the camera and tell him now.
Yes.
Say Steve. Start with Steve. Dear Steve.
Dear Steve, you're the best, man. And like you supporting me, you know, I don't tell you enough.
Don't look at me, look at the camera.
I don't tell you enough what you mean to me. You know, like I think I show up, I do my work, and I go home, and feel like maybe that's enough, but I've been realizing lately that like bosses need to also be told how great they are. And I think you're fucking great. And I tell Christine how great you are, and I tell my parents how great you are and everything you've done for me, but I rarely tell you. And so I'm telling you now. And I'm not crying. You're crying. Dude, this is a weird clip to put in a podcast. I also feel like I've only mentioned that I started my own podcast. I only mentioned to Steve that I started my own podcast like once. Like, because I don't want to tell him like I started a podcast, because I feel like I don't want him to think I want him to promote it, or I want you to be a guest now, or like.
He should be a guest.
Eventually he will, of course. But like, and I don't even really push my music on him too much either. Like I try to sort of soft lob my shit, or like I just try to, it's not.
Soft lob it.
I don't want
It's
you
a
thinking
slow
I'm there
pitch kinda
for the
game.
wrong reasons. Like I'm here to work. You hired me. You're paying me. I don't expect you to promote my music, support my band, like, give me, like, help me with my podcast. Like, that's not the arrangement. Like I show up, you pay me, we have an agreed upon rate, and I leave. So I'm also just. It's a weird thing, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I just feel like I don't want him to think we're playing footsie.
Yeah,
I don't want him to think
you,
I'm like trying to pinch off of his shit.
I know, and
that's
I
a
agree.
complex I have.
I agree. And I mean, I feel like you should just keep doing what you're doing. Also tell him, give him, the love back because he's helped,
That's the thing I needed to do is just the thing I said right here. I'm just going to send him the clip.
If you see something, say something.
Oh, well, there you go.
Period.
There you go. That's it.
That's actually
That's it.
anti-bomb rhetoric, but it fits for this situation as well.
It fits for this as well.
No, I'm proud of you, actually.
That was
Can I say something which is like, I don't know if it's mean.
I hope it's me. Tell you.
I like the way this is going. What's happening?
No, I'm so proud of you because I feel like, actually, I'm gonna thank you more so because I feel like you helped this situation. Because I feel like before, like, okay, I've been friends with Paul maybe like 12 years or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah, and we lived together for like 11 years or something like that. I love you, obviously, with all my heart. But you have been like an asshole throughout, randomly, know. Or how, I'm just saying asshole because that's the easy way to say it. Maybe like not emotional, So like I'm really proud of you for like, actually like opening up and like, realizing like, oh, I should tell this person that I think is great that they're great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, of course, you're literally the most amazing like person ever. Like, don't get me wrong, you're an asshole, but also you're so fucking amazing and you've been there for me. You know what I mean? But I'm proud of you. I'm honestly so proud of you for opening up a little bit more.
Thank you.
Yeah, great things happen when you open up.
They do.
Like, I wouldn't be sitting here if you hadn't opened up to me.
Correct.
So I just feel like that's when like beautiful,
I think
like,
falling off of that
happens.
roof is really a huge part of it, and then being with Christine has exacerbated it. But thank you. Yeah, I Joey would always say like Paul's a robot or like.
We call you fuckboy. Like Paul's a fuckboy.
Yeah. Which I didn't know until I was told this, but. That's another
it's complicated even in my head because you literally, if I was stranded, I mean, there's been times where I'm stranded drunk in Hollywood and I'm like, can you pick me up? No questions asked. I'm on my way. Stay on the phone with me. Just talk to me. I'm coming to get you. So I'm like, not saying Paul's wasn't a caring person because he's always been literally #1 lifesaver of my life. But I feel like when things got very emotional or like very like, I don't know, maybe like truthful in like that kind of depth. Like super vulnerable. It was hard to pull it out of you,
So what's an example of that? Like the truthful, hard to pull it out of me thing?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I also, maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm so emotional that like, we're just on the opposite sides.
I'm naturally less emotional than most people. Like I don't like getting all excited and hyped. I don't like getting all like, let's talk about how sad that is. I just don't.
But like, I don't do that.
I know. No, I'm just saying, but some people do, and
JC.
Yeah, and like, I'm not that way, like it's not, I don't know.
JC's a poet. Leave him out of this, guys.
Oh,
he knows. But he's a beautiful sad boy, No, but I don't know. I just like, so I really am that way, but there's also there is a wall as well. Like, so the wall is coming down, but still behind the wall is, I don't like I don't like emotions to control me. I like to control my emotions, And like, that's
the goal.
It's sort of
But I'm like, but also like.
But it is okay to lose control every once in a while.
You're right, and that's hard for me to do. It's very hard for me to do.
Yeah, I'm very. I guess there's pros and cons to both sides. Like you're very like you don't want to be controlled by feelings. I'm very controlled by feelings. The pros of being controlled by feelings is like I feel everything, and like I could navigate through empathy and like intuition and stuff like that. The bad side though is like if I really let my emotions hold me and control me, that could go down a really bad, like I'm crazy, you know, kind of road. For you, it's just like, where was I going with this? I don't even remember. But you know what I mean? Like there's pros and cons to both sides.
There are, and like,
you know,
we don't all have to be the same,
Yeah.
but like a balance is probably between logic and emotion. That's
Yeah.
kind of the like, you know, those are the sort of opposites of the spectrum. Purely only logical or only emotional, and we're all somewhere in here.
Yeah.
And I think I started and wanted to be more over here, and I'm allowing myself to just,
open.
you know, the goal is to always just be yourself, right? And
yeah.
so I'm allowing myself to just land where I am, where I naturally am, versus like,
trying to
I
Good
think
idea.
sometimes
Push
I
it.
would push myself a little more away from emotions.
Well, this is
For reasons I don't know.
overly simplified, but it's has historically been a male trait to not demonstrate emotions, to not put those on display, to be more stoic about things.
And it's a female trait
And
to be
it's
illogical.
to be
I'm
hysteric.
just
The
kidding.
word
I'm
is
just
actually
kidding.
the
I'm
word
just
is
kidding.
hysteric. To be hysterical.
cancel.
Like the history of that word is the one that gets
Right.
used for women to talk about how women are illogical and irrational and overly emotional, and it comes down to hysterics, and like that's kind of a thing that's been used against women forever. And so
it's
then women
weird
have like a
too.
tendency to be like, okay, well, should I have to button this up now because I can't appear emotional at all, otherwise I'll appear overly emotional.
I feel like things
agree.
have changed more recently too. I
think
feel like
it's shifting.
mental awareness, is that like, you know,
Mental
self-development,
health
mental
and-
health
yeah.
has been very like the top, like that's the popular thing now, which
Which is
obviously
cool.
I
Especially
love.
here.
What a cool
too.
era to live in,
Yeah.
where mental health is the thing.
Agreed.
I've been like, I mean, I'm even newish to this trend, but I feel like, I don't really do because I really needed it. But like, I love that mental health is at the forefront because now it like shows people who are scared to be emotional that it's like, hey, like it's okay. Like we're all humans. Everyone's fucked up. There's no secret, you know,
Yeah.
like literally everyone is fucked up. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. With the logic and emotional thing, I think I'm grateful I have an ability to separate my emotions from a situation. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, like I'm so pissed that they did that to me, but like step out, like, you know, is it really that bad? Or like, why did they do that? What was going on in their head? Like, I think
I agree with that.
it's something I you know, it's not like something I'm wrestling with, but I think, I don't know. I like it, but I think at times it has been a detriment to my development as a human and my relationships with my friends. And so I'm working on it. But I think I'm empathetic. Like I'm not a, well, you know, you're right. I'm more logical than emotional, and
But that's why it's even
I'm
hard
working
for
on it.
me to explain it because I
right,
know
it's hard for me to
you.
explain it too.
You definitely. You're a good person. Everyone Paul's a very good person. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not.
Yeah.
But
If you say I'm a bad person, I'm gonna edit it out.
Paul sucks. But what was I trying to say? Wait, what did I just say?
Just that it's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's hard to explain because you are very like empathetic, but I feel like maybe before you were more like choosy of when to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which
Maybe-
is also fine.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
think-
like you were young too. You know, like now it's more like, oh, I understand a little bit.
Right. I think, you know, with that spectrum, some people grow up too emotional and have to learn to see logic, separate the emotion from a situation.
Yes.
Some people grow up too logical and have to learn to pull the logic out and see the emotion,
Yeah,
you know? And so I'm that person.
I'm the opposite.
You're the opposite.
Yeah.
And a lot, everyone's different, but yeah, I'm this one, you're that one.
You know, but can I tell you my perspective from my side of me? you know how I'm like very emotional and like, now that I'm more aware of how to control my emotions and see more logically, because before for example, if someone was mean to me that I didn't even know, I'm just like, oh, fuck that person. Like, why were they so mean to me? Like, I don't like that. You know, very like triggered very quickly.
Yeah,
defensive. Now I am very aware because I understand my trauma and I understand my healing and stuff like that. So if a random person is mean to me or like rude to me, I'm not like, oh, fuck you. I'm more like, oh, maybe they had a bad day. Maybe, you know, they're going through their own shit. You know, maybe they, you know, like they're healing from childhood trauma. You know, so it's like since I understand
actually about them and not about me.
Yeah, and it's always that actually. It's always not about opposite person. It's always about yourself. So that's what I'm doing now currently, where I'm just like, I'm trying to learn my own shit so I don't have to, I never should have ever blamed anyone for anything happening in my life, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, now I think everyone should just like learn how to, which I think that's what you're doing. You know, you're just learning more about yourself. The more you learn about yourself, the more peaceful you'll be. I feel like the more you understand about life, the more, I don't know.
And the more true and authentic you'll be, you know, like, and I think that's the goal as a human, is just to walk in a room and just truly be you without any hesitation or like mask, you know, like just walk in as completely as yourself. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the goal of life. And it's difficult. Yeah. It's very difficult.
I'm just learning that now, and I'm 31. I'm just learning that now.
Old as shit.
Yeah, like I've finally gotten to the point where logically I'm like, oh, of course that reaction you're having is about you, not me. Mm-hmm. But I haven't really mastered the whole not internalizing it. Like it just still makes me feel bad. And that's what I like about the podcast. Not like we have haters and like get a lot of criticism.
Who's hating on my
Literally
friends?
nobody.
You're getting blocked from the comments, all of you.
But like eventually I know there will be people that don't like it and whatever. And even just sort of now where I'm like, okay, I got to start putting my art out there, music out there. Mm-hmm. It obviously invites criticism. Sure. And I'm just ready. I feel like I'm doing the groundwork to be like ready to be like, oh, I don't care. I just don't care.
You know how many people have called me fat? You know how many people have called me like just such mean body names? I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I love my body. Yeah. You know, and then like,
get out of here.
That's just like one example of just like when someone calls me fat or something. I'm not triggered by that anymore. Maybe for like a millisecond. I'm just like, oh. You know, like, you know.
But really, like, what is going on with that person that they feel like saying that? Like, so much is wrong with that person.
Yeah.
Like,
well, to think it, yeah. Well, to think it is like a reaction, but then to even go one step further to take the time to type it is like another act of hurtfulness.
Correct. And also
which is sad. It is really sad.
We said earlier, you know, like, you would never, the things you say to yourself, you would never say to your friend.
Right.
So if someone's saying that to you, what are they saying to themselves? Exactly. You know? And like, so
you know what?
Yeah, I think that's the right way to look at it.
Are your cameras still rolling?
Maybe they might have died.
I mean, this is still rolling for sure. They beep when they die, but that might have been breaks.
Like, it goes more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It goes till the battery dies.
Oh, you're fancy. Okay.
Yeah, and I need to get like the unlimited batteries, and we could go for like 5 hours, but we don't have them yet. But
I don't think anyone wants to listen for 5 hours, anyways.
I could talk forever, though.
Well, but whether anyone's listening or not, we're just here. You know, we're just.
You guys need to put a pin in it though, because tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah, you have a whole new game.
That's true. What are we gonna just repeat this?
Yeah.
Let's go back to that.
There was so many times in this podcast I'm like, fuck, this is a feelings. This whole this is a taste of feelings.
Yeah.
We caught the feelings.
Which is just proof that what you're doing is just that is you. You know, like you being here, it made it a feeling thing.
Like, okay, so basically
feeling so many
feelings.
feelings.
Feelings are feeling feelings.
Right.
That's what it is.
I knew that,
like
but
that.
the whiskey fucked me up. Yeah.
Like, you know how this conversation was like good and deep? Like, did that feel good?
It always feels good. Okay. Yes.
I was a little squirmy, but
I was squirmy.
Oh, I'm squirmy
In the
too.
moment, I was squirmy.
Yeah.
But it's like a
But no
workout. In the
complaints.
moment, it's like, fuck.
But it
this
works a different
sucks.
muscle.
But an hour later, you're like, God, that felt so good. It feels so
Yeah.
good. Or like crying. You
Yeah.
know? It's hard in the moment, but it feels good.
No, I like it too. I felt good. I mean, honestly, it's just like more connecting than anything, which
Yeah.
is, I love that.
Yeah. I'm glad that you guys are getting closer and closer every time. I don't know. It just makes me happy. You know, you're
I
two
love
people
Christine.
who matter a lot to me. You know, so.
Yeah.
Thanks, dear. I love you too. And we're going to have a pretty picnic soon.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We're going to
pretty picnic.
charcuterie. Des and I are going to go on an adventure.
How about this? We have our picnic, but Paul buys a charcuterie.
You want to sponsor
Perfect.
our
I will
adventure?
sponsor this
You're a
charcuterie.
proud sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
I love it.
Proud sponsor? Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
perfect.
Great.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up.
Do you end it a certain way?
Sometimes I shake your hand.
Oh yeah, he usually does like no, actually.
Usually I
wait
say-
a second. Usually there's a real profession of love, so
Oh,
I'm just
tell me how
gonna
much you
sit back
love
and
me.
relax and Des get comfortable.
Well,
and Paul, let's just
What
hear
I like
it.
about the podcast is it's you have conversations with friends that you don't normally have. You know,
But
you talk
what
to your
about
friend in a way you
Des
don't normally
more
talk.
specifically? Get more specific.
I'm getting to that.
Well, wait, can I pause you before you tell me how much you love
Cameron's
me?
gonna die any second.
No, shut up.
I don't know.
By the way, Paul got me a new record player, and I'm so excited because he's going to set it up tomorrow. So if you
Oh,
want to...
did it get here?
Yeah. Oh, I have to pick it
Nice.
up at a place.
Oh, okay.
But it showed up.
But that is... My love language is gifts. So, like, that enough is, like, already telling me how much you love me. So I just wanted to say that. So you could be just like, I love you. That's it. No,
Des?
but tell me. Tell me.
It feels weird now that it's been set up, but I do. I love you, and we've been friends for a long time. We've been through a lot. We've watched each other grow, and I don't know. I guess my favorite thing about you is just you like.
The tears are coming.
I'm going to cry.
I don't know. You're just. I don't know. You're just you're a train that no one's gonna stop. You know, like, and that's what I've seen. Like,
D-train.
you were doing videos before I was doing videos. When I met you, you were interviewing people, making YouTube videos, and here you are still. I don't know. I just love you,
I love you so
and
much.
I'm proud of you, and I'm excited to see what the future has for both of us.
Same for both of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yay.
Yeah, for
I'm
all
so
three
excited.
of us.
Dude, watch. Like, it's not even like 5 years. It's more like, think of a year from now.
We're gonna have Oprah on this show.
Yeah, we're gonna have we're all gonna be top trending podcasts on Spotify, and we're gonna like have live shows. Maybe we could do a joint live show, right? Sickening.
I like
and
that.
it'll be good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Good
Who's
things
your
are
dream
coming.
guest on your podcast? And then we'll end with that.
you guys.
Get out of here. No, who
Now
is it
she's
really?
buttering us up.
I mean, probably like Gaga or something.
Right, like if you have Gaga on your podcast, that's the day where you're like, fuck, I really am
But it's weird
got
because
somewhere. What's ours? Karen O?
Obviously.
oh,
not.
Karen O would be
O.
sick.
Karen O.
She's my everything.
Yeah.
For me?
I mean, I love you too, but
No, I'm not trying to compete with Karen O. I
Who
don't
is
know.
yours?
I don't know. Questlove would be super cool.
Yeah.
That's probably mine.
Probably, honestly, it's a tie between Gaga and Oprah. Because Oprah, I just want Oprah to talk to me. Because she would tell me so much good stuff. You know what I mean? She would heal me completely.
She'll fix
she's
everything.
powerful
She fixed
like
everything.
that.
She'll fill all the holes. All right.
Super
Anyway,
powerful.
that's Mandl, everybody. Desi,
Thanks
baby.
for joining us, Desi.
Yeah.
Now we're going to check if the cameras are even still rolling.
This episode was sponsored by Hex Coffee Company.
Hexa. Start it from the top.
Hexa.
Hexa.
This this episode was sponsored by Hexa Coffee Company. Paul's still supposed to buy me this cup, but Hexa, if you want to send feelings a cup, I would talk about it there. Just kidding. No, but you can send me a cup and I'll talk about it.
Not kidding.
I'm kidding, but I'm not.
kidding, but I'm not
actually.
kidding.
I'm being casual, but
This
I'm
is
not
my
kidding.
favorite cup, literally.
Yeah,
So,
it's the cup.
it's the cup.
All right, Desi. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
I have to pee so bad.
No, I have to go too.